Okay. Well, if you expect accurate news from Thalmor Radio, then it's actually your fault for expecting it. It's Dwight's alliance. Dwight's the Commonwealth, right? Because the actual Commonwealth merged with Fark to make the New Dawn or whatever. Okay, well that's fun. Have fun, all of those people hitting Bourbon Street. I like bourbon, except my friends when they came over last week hid on my bourbon, and now I don't know where it is. I've searched my whole house and I can't find my. I had 3 bottles and they're all missing, like $60 of bourbon, all gone. So I need to I need to call them and tell them where they put it. They didn't steal it. I know they didn't steal it. Um, but I don't know where it is. The Dead Rabbits had a splinter, and it's called Odyssey. And I know Odyssey because Odyssey is actually a Nations at Risk alliance that I was a part of. And then they kicked me because I went inactive. Um, but I wanted to mention this. Um, and yes, Carthago and Dead Rabbits signed a treaty. Carthago saw the Dead Rabbits lost a lot of members, and they said, you know what, we need to help these people. So they signed a treaty in pretty paper with pretty handwriting. And what's really significant about this, I did not drink my own bourbon. I would remember it because I get drunk very, very not often, like once every 4 months. But Odyssey splintering off from Dead Rapids and forming is the first example I know of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the first example I know of a nations at risk alliance coming into politics and war. There's a bunch of politics and war alliances that formed the nations at risk, but not a. Oh, digital dopamine did as well. Okay. Odyssey was an alliance before. Well, again, folks, if you expect accurate news from here, then I don't know what to tell you. Thalmor, what do you think is the most controversial thing going on right now? Probably the awards. Everyone hates the awards. But Dead Rabbits lost people, now Odyssey's a thing. A whole bunch of leaders are have resigned. Horsecock quit entirely. David resigned. Sweet Ronnie D resigned. Some other people did. Toxic and Khan resigned. Yeah, so a lot of leaders are pulling a Richard Nixon and are leaving the White House. What's with the clapping? I am doing this thing where I'm moving my legs back and forth, hitting my knees together, but I'm using my hand and I'm slapping my knee before they can connect. It's a very strange movement. I'm doing it because when I do my show, doing my show fills me with like nervous energy, and so this is how I expel the nervous energy is by getting some riz while doing a radio show. There was this guy named Mr. Medicare, and he finger blasted his wife live on air like years ago, and that was really funny. But unfortunately, no such thing is happening here on Thalmor Radio tonight. Um, I dropped a crown. Thank you. I finger blast you. Thank you, Icelander. I appreciate that. Common Democracy L. So there's a democratic alliance called the Federated States of Orbis. I think it's what they're called. Is that what they're called? It might not be what they're called. It is. I was right. I finally got one fact right tonight. Let's fucking go. They're splintering off because they had an election and someone pulled. I don't know what happened, but there's um there's accusations, I think, that like the election was rigged or something. I don't know, someone did something wrong or someone got mad, and now the alliance is splintered off into like the royal something others. And so democracy doesn't work in this game. The royal bastards, thank you. um and that's just what happens, honestly. Yeah, go listen to Morph did a show last night, and they probably cover a lot of these things way better than I'm covering them. um Democracy doesn't work in this game. Like, you can't do it. Like, Rose and UPN does it right with like the common community comes together to like decide who should lead them. Like, that's fine. But like, that's it. You can't really have anything more than that. Anything more than that, and um falls apart. Dancing teardrops. Dancing teardrops. Is your profile picture just a treaty web? No, it's like a chemistry thing. I thought Dancing Teardrops profile picture was the treaty web, but it's just a bunch of like science nerd stuff. There is a phishing thing going around, and apparently we know who's doing it. Surprisingly, somehow, and the fisher has like been a problem. So Alex, after like the game is almost a decade old, and he has finally created two-factor authentication, so that way your account won't get stolen when you click on a link that's like if you click a link like that, if you have two-factor authentication, your shit won't all get stolen. So that's good. There are some game updates on the way. Now, I actually do have some notes on this one because they actually are real things. So, um, spy counts are going to be visible, so everyone will be able to see that you have 69 spies. You can fund urban planning and Super Saiyan urban planning with RAWs. Pirate economy will give 5% more loot, and there's going to be a Super Saiyan pirate economy that will give you another offense slot and a 1.1 multiplier to beige damage and bank loots. There's also going to be a Biryu of domestic affairs, which will reduce the policy timer to 1 turn, which is actually pretty powerful. And RPG becomes a money-based project instead of resource-based. So those are the updates that are coming. The Pimpinko based fact checker Pimpinko says the raw thing is not happening and spies aren't 100% sure either. Okay, thank you, Pimpinko, for correcting the record live on air. Um, I'm just trying to rebuild, honestly. I'm not thinking about building new stuff. Actually, I'm already rebuilt. I should probably get City 37 soon. Now there's a bunch of drama with banks, and I don't know any of it. So, Lysander, why don't you hop on and explain to me about all the bank drama?
My time to shine, huh?
Hell yeah.
So, where do we want to start here? There are two things that you can technically ask me about here. Are you talking about the Bank of Orbis, or are you talking about the Crimson Dragons Camelot drama?
I want to know both. So, start with Bank of Orbis, because that was the first one, I believe, that happened chronologically.
Okay. So, this is I am gonna try my best to simplify this so it's not like what would be an hour-long story. Is Chad's not here, is he? Damn it. Okay. So there there was I believe he was a low gov member of Rome. This all started out of the Roman Empire. And this guy pissed off Tiberius, who was at the time second in command of Rome. He did things like talk to people Tiberius told him not to talk to. He refused to change his profile picture to a Roman profile picture. He wasn't on to instantaneously respond whenever Tiberius demanded an answer. So uh, there was drama. AFEMS, which was the name of this low gov member, got pizza. I'm not gonna consider this a close enough summary. So AFEMS gets fined. There's a bunch of drama between him and Tiberius. He leaves and he hatches a plan to, was it steal some of his SK or what was it? Oh, no, no, no. That's something different. Excuse me. He leaves and he's told he has to pay back everything. All grants, including stuff. I mean, like he didn't take many grants, but all grants, everything he has to pay to get it back. He has to pay back war aid, things he was told he didn't have to pay back. He had to pay back all of it to get any of his money. And then, so this is where it actually gets involved with the bank. Tiberius is more or less second in command at the Bank of Orbis. So Tiberius demands they freeze AFEM's accounts. They do so. This gets really confusing. The guy AFEMS sends money for rebuild aid. He was told if he sent this money, his funds would be unfrozen. He sends the money. The bank refuses to unfreeze his funds. Why? What's the reasoning? Oh, because he knows Nomad, who is somebody that defaulted. So you're guilty by association. Um, So then AFEMS gets involved in, I mean, I think it's like Cad, Dark Knight. There were a bunch of people. Borg is the face of it. Borg was the face of the whole operation. And so ultimately, AFEMS tells other people what happened. You get a bunch of raiders that get together to declare war. And so they do. A lot of the in-game protectorates of the Bank of Orbis, a lot of their treaties, drop them. They freeze cataclysms, all of Cataclysm. If you were in Cataclysm, when Cata dropped the Bank of Orbis in game, your account got frozen in retaliation briefly. This led to other people telling their members to pull stuff out before they dropped, like FSO. And so, oh yeah, it was a miscommunication, Deca. I know because I was there, but it's still garbage. So the Daxus refused to negotiate. Daxus is the owner of the Bank of Orbis. And no, Cataclysm, thank you, board. Cataclysm did not offer with Bank of Orbis, but several members did have accounts there. So um Kim, Pocky Man, Smokers is the nation. He and his alliance, I think it's Shaken Not Stirred, had been infrequently hitting Daxus for months. Kim launches an attack on Daxus's nation in game, and Daxus apparently uses this fairly like frequent and unconnected event to justify seizing all of AFEM's money. So then you get Borg and everybody else declares a lot of drama, a lot of fighting, a lot of leaked screenshots from both sides. Ultimately, what happens is this, I kid you not, this is like peak comedy. So the bank has an automated bot, and that's what made so many people take stuff, use it. It was very convenient. When attacked, they lock down the bot so that money isn't being routed through and gets looted. Tiberius pulls the entire Bank of Orbis offshore, Keep in mind, there's over 20 billion in cash that gets pulled from this offshore, which was with another online bank. And so he takes the entire thing and sends it to Yar and decides that he wants to remove Germanicus via vote, via coup. I'm not sure on the particulars, but he initiates something to try to remove Germanicus, who is the actual leader of Rome. Germanicus demotes Tiberius, which means Tiberius loses access to the Yar offshore and loses access to the funds that he just withdrew from Bank of Orbis. So more or less, Bank of Orbis is broke because Tiberius took their entire bank, offshored it, and lost access to the offshore. The funniest sequence of events of all time. Tiberius says he was just doing it to pull stuff. Other people say he was actually stealing the money. There's a whole lot of back and forth. He said, she said. Ultimately, when Daxus is informed, he loses it. He deletes the Bank of Orbis server. He deletes his the Bank of Orbis alliance, deletes his nation. And so as of now, Yar is doing liquidation and all that. But yeah, Tiberius was trying to pressure people into protecting Bank of Orbis. He was trying to bring Rome into the war after Germanicus said, no, they're not doing that. After Germanicus's allies said, no, they weren't doing that. George missed it. So it's literally like a cartoonish sequence of events. He takes the money from Bank of Orbis. Whether you think he's stealing it or he's just moving it to a different offshore, that's up to you. But he is planning, well, when he does this, when he moves this, he is planning to replace Germanicus, who is the real leader of the Roman Empire. Whether it's via coup, whether it's via a vote, whatever. He's been pushing Germanicus's buttons. Germ has been telling him, no, we're not doing that. And so Tiberius decides it's time to take over. Tiberius pulls the funds from the Bank of Orbis offshore to Rome and sends them to Yar under Rome's account. Yes, so Toxic Pepper is, I believe what Toxic is saying, that Tiberius's intentions were to steal it. He and these director chats I don't believe have been leaked yet because I have privileged access to them, but he was saying in the Bank of Orbis director chat that they should just take all of the money and split it amongst the directors. Pizza, you did steal it. You did steal it. That's the ironic part. Your leader was just so dumb, he put it in the wrong place. Tiberius stole the money, intended to coup Rome, offshored it in Rome's Yar account because he expected to be in charge of Rome after coupping Germanicus, got demoted, and lost access to the account. If he had put it anywhere else, if he'd put it with Borg, if he'd put it in his own Yar account, he would still have every single dime of the Bank of Orbis funds. He was so dumb and so cocky that he put it in Rome's account before coupping Rome, got demoted, left Rome, and all that money stayed in Rome's Yar account. Which means if it was under Rome's Yar account and Tiberius can no longer access that, who's the other person that has access to Rome's Yar account? The actual leader of Rome, Germanicus. So Germanicus had access not only to the entire Rome bank. No, he didn't seize it. It was left there by Tiberius. Tiberius put it there, lost access. There was nothing to seize. It's like if you give me your money and then tell me that I seized it. That's not how seizing works. So, and now Germanicus has the bank's money and has agreed with Yar. I think, is CCT in here? CCT is in here. Yar is doing liquidation of the accounts, shares, everything. It's in a different order. They're doing it step by step by step. But Yar is liquidating the Bank of Orbis. Everybody with their account, unless Bank of Orbis had debts, they were down money, which I can guarantee you they were. They everyone's going to get if Bank of Orbis had all their money, it would all go back to everyone would get their full dollar back. So yeah, this is the thing.
Lysander,
Go for it. Sorry, Thalmor.
the court case needs to be Thalmoria v. Tiberius.
Ideally, because Daxus has deleted and really couldn't care less anymore. So it ideally would be Tiberius. But I do just want to reiterate, because I think this has been really, really, really misunderstood by everybody. Tiberius stole the Bank of Orbis's funds, deposited it in Rome's Yar account, and lost access to Rome's Yar account, leaving the money for Germanicus. Germanicus did not say, oh, look, there's Tiberius's account. I'm going to steal the money from Tiberius. It was put in Germanicus's bank account, more or less, because Germanicus is the leader of Rome. And then Tiberius was removed as somebody with access to that bank account. So, very simple timeline of events is Tiberius stole it, Tiberius put it in Yar, Tiberius lost access to Yar. That's something that I think keeps getting mixed up and misrepresented, and I want to be crystal clear on. Like, Germanicus literally had no involvement in taking anything from Bank of Orbis. He just woke up and got their money. Well, he found he got their money. I shouldn't say woke up. He found he had their money after demoting Tiberius. With that, thank you for the rant on that, Thalmor. Sorry, I went a little crazy.
Okay, well, time is not on our side here. So can you now shift into talking about Camelot's drama?
Sure, and I can be brief on this because there's not much for me to get worked up on here. From what I'm aware of, Crimson Dragons, they were a Camelot prot. They've been a Camelot prot for a long time. They've done merge or die wars where they attack a nano and force them to merge, or they roll them until they disband. They extort nanos. They have legitimately paid people money to buy their alliance. And so they've been like a Cam lapdog for a while. Camelot, excuse me, their prot was due to expire, and so they'd more or less come down to, after talking with Cam, they were either going to merge into Camelot, or Camelot was going to, or excuse me, Crimson Dragons had to find a new protector. The prot expired. They'd been offshoring with Camelot, and they decided they wanted to leave, and Camelot took, oh gee, what were the exact figures? Let me find them, because I ran the article on it. So let me see if I can have these exact figures. 300,000 of each of the manufactured resources and 75,000 uranium. Epi said, no, that's mine, because you said you would, he said, because you guys agreed to merge and then you didn't, I'm taking it. So I don't know if they did or if they didn't, but the leader of Crimson Dragons, Thorin, has been embezzling for a while, supposedly. He's been accused of doing multi stuff. I mean, it's a dirty thing overall. So I guess Cam stole from Crimson Dragons to stop Crimson Dragons from stealing more from itself. I mean, it was a very mixed pot overall. So the summary is Crimson Dragons leader is accused of embezzling. Epi says Crimson Dragons agreed to merge into them and then change their minds, and so he decided to keep their bank.
Okay, so Camelot was trying to be imperialistic. Crimson Dragons fought back. Camelot punished them, basically.
That's
Wrong?
what
Is
I've
that right?
seen. but there might have been like Ron only does so many follow-up posts. So if Epi did eventually return the resources, or if something was arranged, or whatever happened, I don't know. I just went off of what the two posts that Ron did. So you'd have to ask Epi for more.
Epi is saying the resources were returned, though, so LL, what a misrepresentation. Epi, do you want to come on and set the record straight? I guess, 1 second. Okay, so Epi will appear here in a second, and he will let us know what the truth of the matter is. And the truth will set you free, as it says in the good book. Vaguely volunteer as defense attorney, so we'll see what happens. But I think a court case is going to be coming out of this. Um, I want to wrap up the show in 15 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and continue on here. Um, Legion of Dawn. So does Epi have a lawyer? He does not, and I don't anticipate opening up a court case against Epi or Camelot, um, unless people really want it for some reason. Yeah, what Zig says. Are you volunteering? Volunteers can't defend Tiberius. Okay. David's willing to defend Camelot. That. I will dismiss your case eventually. I stand, or it's de facto dismissed. All right. Well, okay. Legion of Dawn. The Commonwealth and FARC came together to make Legion of Dawn, and I have, you know, everyone else can talk about how those alliances suck ass. I'm not going to, because there are people who can do it better than me. There are people who have already done it. My contribution is that um, their flag sucks ass. Alliances are there are plenty of alliances in this game that are terrible. So being terrible isn't new, but having such a hideous flag is really something. So I was compelled. I was driving. I wasn't driving. I was riding. I was riding in the car at night, and when I saw the thread and I saw the flag, I was compelled. My disgust came through the airwaves, and I typed, that flag is uglier than shit, and people agreed with me, so that's cool. The original draft of the flag is much prettier. I would hope by now they have fixed it, but it is what it is. Midgard has added 2 alliances: Legion of Dawn and the Way, or Cervena Way, whatever. I think Midgard is the threat. When you're playing Magic Commander with 4 players, there's an element of diplomacy, and when one player gets into a strong position and the other ones aren't, usually the players at the table will agree that he's the threat, and then they'll start targeting that player because he's ahead. I think Midgard is the threat at the Magic table at a game of Commander. They got like over 1,000 nations now, and they're pretty much, I don't want to say they're strong in all tiers, but Legion of Dawn does add, I think, some more top heavy strength. I'm not saying Midgard's evil. I'm not saying they're bad. I have no beef with Midgard, but they have a lot of players now, and they have, I think, some pretty good tiering. They're already in the sphere. They just formerly joined. Okay. Well, I digress then. I still think Midgard is big, but if these aren't new numbers, then never mind. Then I amend what I'm saying. Actually, I really think a lot of the spheres are pretty equal right now. So there we go. Um, so besides Pizza, do you want to defend Tiberius in court? And can you voice chat? Does anybody want to defend Tiberius in court? Please let me know in chat right now if anyone volunteers. I would have to ask him to be his attorney. You actually don't need his permission, but you can get it to anyways if that'll make you feel better. Lysander wants to be paid to do it. Okay. He'll use Ron AI. That's funny. Okay. If type I will let Tiberius defend himself with pizza assisting. I will be with that. I will allow this. I will allow this. Sleeping Ninja also is going to defend Tiberius. I will let Tiberius defend himself with Sleeping Ninja and Pizza assisting. I will allow this right now. I will type it in chat. And if Tiberius does not want them assisting, if he wants to run his own show and be like his only defense attorney, I will also allow that. I just want a defense attorney so I can facilitate the trial because finding a defense attorney is always the hardest part in putting these things together. Okay, HOGG disbanded. The HOGG writers got killed. All the hogs got slaughtered with napalm from Fortuna planes and vehicles. So all the hogs are roasted, and the flies have ate the flesh, leaving nothing but bones. Post hogs. Post hogs in chat, everyone. What was BSK's picture? I remember seeing it and being like, whoa, but now I have forgotten it. What was the picture? It was the dead hog with blood around it. I remember that, but I don't remember how bad it actually was. Um, anyways, it BSK himself? I actually do want it to. Yes, Hari, DM it to me. DM it to me. Don't post it here in case people get offended by gore. These are some cute pigs, Borg. I appreciate the cute pigs, the cute picky piggies. The 4 to 50 feral hogs were terminated by AR-15s. Fortuna had a rifle with a fully loaded magazine, and they gunned down all the feral hogs that came at them. They used justified lethal force to protect themselves and their property. And Hog disbanded. And Guardian and Oblivion have signed up with Florida. Grumpy and Hand of Fate are maintaining an O level, and we're hooked up with Name Withheld. I think no. I actually don't remember what our moves were. Who's prosecuting BOO? I don't remember. Who wants to prosecute again? Who wants to prosecute Tiberius? I forgot. I forgot. Skull emoji. Lysander's willing to. Okay. David was. I thought David wanted to defend. David volunteered to defend Epi. But I'm not opening a case against Epi at the moment. Oh, thank you, Hari, for the picture. That's not too bad. I understand why the mod removed it, but mods are anti-fun, so it is what it is. Decagon's okay, so Decagon and Lysander are prosecuting. We need some law firms. There's no like. That'd be cool. Wait, guys, I'm sorry. I'm so confused in chat. If you want to defend Tiberius, type 1 in chat. This will be an early. I will do it to. I will do it, guys. I can schedule the trial like working with everyone's schedules, so it's going to be probably 2 weeks. Okay, so Pizza, David, and Lysander. Okay, I can do this. Borg, are you willing to genuinely defend Tiberius, or was that a joke? I'm guessing it was a joke. It was a joke. Okay. Okay. Lysander, David, and Pizza. I will tomorrow I will set this up. But I will put that together. Pizza, I'm happy you're volunteering because you're already like with Tiberius, so you can help facilitate that communication. So that's awesome. Lysander, Decagon is helping you. Decagon and Lysander are prosecuting. David, Pizza, and Lysander are defending. So this is actually, I actually like this a lot. This is actually a good court lineup. I'm happy I brute forced this. Is Velyni Vas here? Because I need him to talk about Hand of Fate. Come on, good sir. Let me add you here. How can I invite to speak? There we go. Vas, what the fuck is Hand of Fate doing? Hello? Uh-oh. Vas, if you're talking, nothing's coming through. Please check your equipment and your settings. Uh-oh. He left. Oh, no. Bridget got him. Bridget has pulled him into the basement to do unspeakable things to him. Literally, Kiwi. Vas did just pull a Sigma move, TBH. Signs all this paper, comes on the radio show to explain, says nothing, then leaves. Like, pretty based, honestly. Pretty based. He's back. All right. Audience, invite to speak. Hello? Oh no, I still can't hear anything. He's not server muted or anything. Try to add Bridget. Okay. Bridget, where is she at? Where is she at? There she is. Right click. Oh, there we go. Bridget, it says you're muted on your end. So see if you can unmute. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Hello? There we go. Yep, you're coming through. I don't know what's wrong with that.
There we go. Yeah. You're good.
I just left.
You're good.
You can hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Good. Sorry about that. I don't know why I'm having audio issues, but yes, I'm a female avatar.
Velyni
Vas is now trans. She, her,
yes,
I'm
trans. I'm trans. Rest in peace to my wild hogs. You know, we get slaughtered, and you know it was what it was. You know, TS and Eclipse leaving us out for chum in the water. You know, kind of depressing, Thalmor. But we are the ones that prevailed.
Our hogs were only medium rare and not well done.
True. No, so yeah, the moves. So listen, we decided to do some interesting moves. You know, obviously, break away from HOGG, split up. You know, Guardian and Grumpy. When we tied with Grumpy and the rest of them, you know, it was very evident that we wanted to, you know, take the move very seriously, make sure we stuck along with them and really, show our appreciation for them giving us an opportunity to come back, given, our typical tie and controversy that comes with it. So, after GG decided to split, when Guardian and Oblivion ended up going to Rose, we definitely wanted to stick along with Grumpy and, show our appreciation on that and honor our treaty. We did drop that from the M level down to an ODOAP, giving them a little flexibility and, not leaving them fully paperless on there. We tied Cataclysm, again with the ODOAP, trying to make sure that, they've been longtime friends with us, really good relations. Obviously, Kigas has his history with us and everything, and this gave us an opportunity to work together in a kind of different environment. And then Requiem, obviously we did a non-chaining MNDOAP, to try some different FA. So the goal is, Hand of Fate, KT, we're known kind of being this crusading alliance. We, go on our wrecking havoc, do a couple of paper plays and just kind of bouncing back and forth. Not really, becoming a political entity or really having any, opportunity to make a political stance, if you will. That really wasn't in our identity. This gives us an opportunity to do our crusades on our own point, on our own terms, get involved in politics a little more with our optional defense and optional aggression packs. Gives Cataclysm an opportunity to jump in if they want to. Requiem, same thing. Grumpy, same thing. It gives us a little bit of a, an interesting perspective, I think, when you talk politically in there. One thing I definitely want to say, and this has been harped to a lot. We just bluntly speaking, fuck TKR, fuck Black Knights, and fuck the rest of that sphere and dodgeball. We have absolutely no intent on defending anything that hits them. We will defend Cataclysm if it comes down to it and if they ask us. But otherwise, we don't give a damn about the rest of the sphere. And if you try to loop us in with it, then that's your own, that's your own loss. We have no, TKR obviously, has no love for us hitting them during rebuild. I think our perspective hitting them during the rebuild and ruining their ROI kind of, says, how we feel about them. So, to try and lump us with that sphere is just completely ignorant, if you will, if that's your spin there. We definitely just want to have some fun, have some flexibility, do alliance-centric ties and political moves. There's been a lot of people, I'll name drop a couple people, but Aurora has mentioned it. Partisans have been a big person for it. House Stark has been, very vocal about wanting to do it. Instead of just talking about it, we decided to be about it and, put our money where the mouth is. If it ends up working out, great. If not, then, it is what it is. But, we stand by the decision we made and, we're going to continue to do what we do here. And if you lump us in with the sphere, don't hesitate. We're not going to hesitate to crusade you later. So, if you decide to try and pull us into a war, then you'll have to reap those pixel burnings later. So.
Oh, you hear that? Oh, that's the sound of Velyni Vas slamming his cock right on the table, telling us exactly how it's going to be, what is up, what is down, and what's going on.
Anybody got any questions or anything that I can answer while I'm here?
You guys heard the man. Any questions? What hot, steaming knowledge do you want bestowed upon
What's up,
at
Deca?
this moment?
Love you. No homo. Can we hear Girl Vass's opinion on these treaties? She has no opinion. She co-signs whatever I do.
Based.
All right. Well, hey, Thank you. When are you posting the TKR treaties send alert Lena into during your rant? When their dick gets bigger than my pinky. All right. Well, thank you, Thalmor, for having me. I appreciate you giving us an opportunity to give our stance on this and talk about the treaties. Hopefully more people have the balls to do some things themselves and not hide behind blocks and not behind other people. Really try to take your own fate in your own hands, if you will. Not be hide behind other numbers and tiering. So appreciate it. Hand of fate out.
Oh, what a fucking appearance. Velyni Vas, genuinely one of the best new additions to Hand of Fate in quite a long time. But that's him. You guys heard what we were doing, why we were doing it, and I think it cleared up a lot. So, usually the later the show goes on, the fewer the audience members. But let me hold on. I'm texting my friend. Because I don't want to. I was going to end the show by now, but my friends aren't home yet. So if I leave now, I'm going to be in the dark by myself. So, I was told there was a cock reveal. No, you missed it. I'm afraid. Oh, Thorn's probably here to talk to Epi. I moved. You want me to come on again? Sure, Epi. Why not? We can go on for a bit longer. Actually, you know what? Actually, yeah, that's fine. I'm playing Magic Queen, Magic Commander Magic specifically. Epi, do you want to talk to Thorin? I need a no. I need a no, or I need an is not a no, so I don't get a no. It's a yes. Then I up to me. Then sure. So Epi and Thorin, why don't you both come on here? Invite Epi. Then where's Thorin at? Invite.
I'm in the wilderness now.
Classic Thalmor radio strat, Epi.
Yeah. So
Epi, talk about this Crimson Dragon stuff.
Okay then. So Crimson Dragons was our ally, and we did like them for a very long time. But there was a lot of things they were doing which were suspicious, bad practice, otherwise unwise. They were not a protectorate; they were a partial extension, i.e., we had some control over their economy, some control over their internals. We sort of moderated stuff and made sure they weren't too out of line. We had control over their foreign affairs for the most part, and militarily we were integrating and all that. So we'd agreed to merge when Camelot fought a war to get their bank back, which I'm shocked how they lost it in the first place, but they did. 70% of the bank was meant to go to the members, 30% was meant to go to us. That was their words. I think we suggested that the split be like 30% to the members, 30% to the Gov, 40% to us. And they said, well, no, we'll do 30% to the members, 40% to Gov, and 30% to us. And that covers member storage, rebuild, everything. We sent them the money. They said that they'd done all that. And then they gave us the resources back. The 70% of the bank they had, the government supposedly voluntarily gave to Thorin, which we call like way into question. That's just really unusual and strange that the membership would give all their deposits to their leader. Highly unusual. But he gave us logs, like a permission slip, that this was true. So we sort of took him at his word, and we're like, okay, we need to hurry the merge along because this isn't looking right. We need to solve this. If he doesn't have economic terms, like maybe he's good in like foreign affairs or military or whatever else. Maybe he's just greedy. Which I mean, everyone has flaws, so whatever. He 180s on the merger and then says, okay, give me the resources, but I'm like, we're not merging, and I'm gonna go to you guys by myself. And so I said, well, we're not gonna like give the resources over right now just to you. We'd like to talk with the new leadership of Crimson Dragons and see if they can come around on this. We don't ever get put in contact with them. And Thorin at the same time applies to Grumpy, which Grumpy approaches us, asks if we'd recommend him. We say basically don't give him bank access, but yeah, he's a fine member. And we sort of give the same sort of response to Dark Brotherhood about Crimson Dragons. They're fine, but you got to like look into the economics because there's something going on there. And on the resource front, we had a myriad of reasons where we basically weren't returning them. Primarily, we were given these resources in the merger, so that's already, we have a right to these, fuck off. Secondly, we didn't want to give it back to Thorin because we felt that it wasn't really just to give 100% of the bank just to one person to build them cities. Like, we are a lower tier alliance. Money means a lot to us. So giving all that over to one person just seemed wrong. And that was like in the context of us thinking he'd already tax farmed them for a fair bit of money. That was a second reason. Third, he was joining Grumpy, and specifically we have an issue with Grumpy and money, and saying that basically because you guys signed up with Oblivion that stole from us, we're not going to give you any money until that the stolen stuff is returned. So that was the third reason we weren't going to give anything to him. And there are a few others, which is all outlined in a public document which we've posted about Crimson Dragons. Eventually, we did give the resources back. People threatened us with war. People like tried to do all that nonsense. I've ignored that. I really don't care. If you want to come fight us over it, you're more than welcome to. We do not regret taking it in the slightest. We do regret giving it back, but we felt that it sort of needed to be given back for, I guess, a spiritual sense that like Crimson Dragons was our ally. And even in this sort of ending, where they're disbanding and like we have every right to keep it. Keep in mind, like 50% of like Crimson Dragons members actually joined us for the last few months. They were sent over by Thorin ahead of the merger. Like we felt it would be recorded in our history books that like, hey, there was this dispute, and we wanted on our history books for it to read, there was this dispute. We gave the resources back. It wasn't right, but all debts have been settled. Everything's resolved. And they were a good ally. They had their failings, but they were a good ally. So that's where our side of it comes down. Yeah, I wish them the best. The resources have all been sent. We did that, I think, immediately at like the same time we posted. So yeah, if anyone has any questions or wants to critique our perspective, they're welcome to. That's our position on things. Probably forgetting some stuff.
That is a interesting position you hold on this.
Yeah.
I think the issue I got from this was sort of the immediate response and lack of clarity from Camelot, especially the whole being like banned from the servers. And then when I had sent DMs, I'm like, hey, can you send the CD stuff back? I have members here asking to withdraw from their deposit. And I have to tell them like, no, I can't. Epi's not, our offshore is not working. Like, what do we do? Because as part of our prod agreement, you had it be required that we offshore through you. So
Did
I was just
we might have. I forget. I
That-
know we didn't want you guys banking with like third-party banks. I think we were like, if you want to bank with us or HOGG, it's like your option.
it was we
but
have
maybe
to
we did
have
mandate it.
we had to have like that's what we had with you. What we had stored with you, the
Okay.
300,000 of each manu was like the minimum required. Because you
Yeah,
said you want
but our
1,000 of each resource per city stored with Camelot.
Okay. Yeah, we might have encouraged war chest standards there, but um, actually that would make sense. I think we did actually cover you guys in one of your earlier wars. Like we had to pay out a lot of resources. We did for Prusso-Roman Union. We gave them a ton of resources. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that was something we did. A lot of the protectorate business is handled by staff. I don't really involve myself at all, unless like it's involving a lot of money or putting us in some sort of danger. Which
Yeah.
Thorin and was working with Forethought, Dabzion, and then he was working with his successors for most of this.
Indeed. But I do think that it was just it was a pretty misunderstood situation, is what you're trying to play off as. But I'm still just I'm having trouble seeing that, especially
It's
with the
not
whole we'll
misunderstood in
return the
our book.
bank with the whole
We
statement
sent
of
you
we'll return the
100%
bank
of the
in. No, you did you make the second withdrawal, or was it just the first initial one?
So we sent you 100% of the bank. That is indisputable. We sent you the full bank. You said that you were going to spend it. You told us this when you requested it. You were going to spend it on member deposits, grants, and rebuilds. That stuff. Settle all of your accounts. Right? That was not what the money was spent on.
No,
You spent 70% of it on yourself.
I'm not seeing that here.
You
I think
literally
you're
sent me a message saying I got a permission slip to buy the cities, and they said in the post, "The bank is yours. Do what you like with it."
But my issue is that after that we sent back 300,000 of each manu to be offshored with Camelot because we were still part of the prod. And you're
That
claiming
was
that these funds didn't belong to us because something.
well. You
I'm
said
just
that.
I'm
Just the
seeing the issue
context of the
here with
messages.
a bank withholding funds from people for political reasons.
You said basically in the messages, if I pull them up, that you were sending that you wanted to request this money to you so you could settle the accounts before the merger, and then immediately after that, when you send the resources back, that was like in my book, that's our share. That's the war chest stuff that
No,
you were gonna keep
that
after the merger.
okay.
And
So that I don't
and then
understand
we
that. In
immediately
what
talk about
world
where
would
members are going.
300,000 be 30%? That would imply that a micro CD has 1 million of each manufactured as its war chest.
You had a few billion in cash and then a bunch of resources and a bunch of food. And then you were like, we've settled all the accounts now, and then we've sent this to you. You didn't say like we're storing this with you or anything. You were like, we've sent this to you. And so in our context, I was like, that's what we're keeping because it's all war resources, stuff that we use or find useful. And the members probably didn't have themselves because they were on higher taxes. So to us, that like there was nothing about that. I found gave you
I'm
all the food.
I'm sorry, Epi. I think you were cutting out. Oh wait, Thalmor, was he cutting out for you, or just my connection a little?
He was cutting out for me as well.
Low power.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I can probably solve this.
And I think there are some other discrepancies. Like earlier, you stated that you were providing input. I actually went back to our messages to try to find. It's really hard to find screenshots in this, after being banned from the servers, and then going back in DMs and noticing that some of your messages are missing.
I have not deleted any messages.
There was that message when we were talking about when you suggested that we divvy up the bank by doing 30% here, like 40% there, 30% here, and I suggested lowering the gov split and
you
increasing
shifted
the
it
member split.
to. You didn't increase the member split. You increased the gov split.
No, we decreased. We only had 2
Yeah,
people in gov at the time, so we figured we should decrease it and increase member split.
There was like literally no message about that. The last message I have on you on this topic was 30, 40, 30. It's 40% going to gov. And that was a change from what we wanted, which was 40% to us and then 30% to members and 30% to Gov. But still, if it was high tax, that sort of makes sense. But your claim is that most of this was member deposits, which sort of implies a low tax system in which most of it belongs to them. In which case, then you shouldn't have spent what you spent.
What I spent
Just to
is
be
not in
frank.
question. The things I spent were my funds.
Whoa. What you spent is not in. You literally, I will copy the message that you sent me, the permission slip.
The permission slip.
Yeah, you literally called it a permission slip. I got a permission slip right there. Here we go.
Here, yeah, send that to me.
Right there. Okay, so it reads, no editing, no nothing. There's like 3 missing Gov that are open. I think we're fine right now. And he says, guys, can I spend 2.5 billion, please? And they reply, your bank, so why not? Really? Oh, so sweet.
Yes. That right there is
so,
the pinnacle of how economics work. You see, the way that CD worked is, we've all pretty much been with each other for like 2.5, 3 years now. We're all chill. Everyone in the alliance is on like their own separate thing. I myself have been on 100 for the past 400 days, just trying to get the alliance to work. To fulfill the dream. It's like the American dream. The politics of the dream. To
my friend,
escape is a micro.
my
What?
friend, we didn't give you too much grief over the embezzling stuff. Or whatever you want to distribute it, because at the end of the day, unless these are multis, that is their choice. We don't think it's an ethical choice, but it is their choice.
You're using that as justification to withhold funds from the members.
It's
You're
one
using
of the
members' choices.
It's one of the justifications, because there are members that have come forward and said basically we didn't approve of this. So it's dubious, and they never saw these messages. They never saw that your government approved this. So there was a lot of things about it that were very suspicious and that we didn't like. Something like that could never have happened at Camelot. That just isn't something we would do. Anyway, so there was an agreement. There are a myriad of reasons we kept the resources. We are not returning them because of you, though I know that you will get the lion's share of them, I expect. Yeah, I don't know. We just wanted to settle the books on our end so we could say that we treated Crimson properly, because we feel we have throughout everything you guys dealt with. We fought wars in defense of you guys. We protected your interests. We compensated you after raids when we weren't able to immediately defend you. We did a lot for Crimson, and so it's really disappointing that it ended this way. And we have a lot of members that are from Crimson that are in Camelot now, who sort of look back and go, well, that's unfortunate. That shouldn't have ended that way. Yeah. And total irony, our reputation to our extensions and our allies immediately, not to the rest of the world, because we couldn't care less, is more important than Crimson, you guys, whatever you're doing, and more important than everyone else. Yeah. Because in all honesty, this is sort of a sign of weakness that we even gave it back. That was one of the reasons we were like, no, we shouldn't return this, because this is almost like saying if people apply pressure to us.
Returning stolen goods is a sign of weakness?
Lauren,
No, returning resources that was scammed from people.
Happy, how are you?
Hello.
Thorin, how are you?
Hi. Is this the dude who invited me here? I don't know. Someone.
No, I definitely did not.
This is Decagon, someone
with what?
Likes to make threats against other alliances.
Like
How are
what?
you doing, my friend?
Threats like what? I'd just let them know that.
Let's see. Actually, I'm not really big on hiding stuff. So Hand of Fate actually made a series of threats to basically come and attack us over this. And
I'm not in
I said
I'm in Cataclysm.
Which is allied to Hand of Fate. But anyhow,
Not in Hand of Fate, though. It's actually Cataclysm.
I remember replying to them saying, "Mole on Lab, if you want something from
Listen,
us, come and get it."
I'm not
And
Hand of Fate, and
after
I'm
he gave
not
him back.
Oblivion, though. I'm not the other alliances. I'm in Kata. If you want
You
to
are.
clarify on that one, though. I'm not Hand of Fate. I'm not Oblivion.
He's allied to the people that threatened to come attack us over this. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but you said Kata, though, so
Well,
Kata
it's
isn't
all the
Oblivion.
same.
It's not Hand of. No, it's not.
Right now, in my view. Anyway, what were you going to say? Why are you here?
No, but that's not right. We have, you know that.
Perhaps.
Is
so
it
what's up?
perhaps, though? Is it perhaps?
You're dodging
We
this
can.
point.
I'm not. No, I'm sticking on the original. I mean, you're the one who said the thing, and I'm just sticking
Well,
to
you
it.
joined randomly with no topic in mind.
No,
interrupted
it's
the
the topic.
conversation.
Thorin needs backup, clearly. No offense, Thorin. But
What?
I'm still talking. We're not Oblivion, and we're not Hand of Fate. Right?
Okay. So you, just for
Am I?
context then, what is your interest
Am
in
I, though?
interfering in...
Am I Hand of Fate, or am I in Oblivion?
You're in Cataclysm, which is fair enough. I'm not saying that. I was just saying that you're allied to people that made lots of threats against us, which is sort of what I'm saying. Like, this is someone that's joining
I
up to
think we're
fight us
friends
against
too.
us.
I thought we were friends
Yeah, we are,
too.
which is why I said friend. Yeah, so we get along well.
I'm being like very genuine here. Like, we're friendly.
It's just business. Yeah.
So
what's just
Thorin, how are you? I've never actually spoken to you before, but before
wonderful.
today, we've never spoken.
Yeah, nice.
To be honest, though, I will say, and to Epi's credit, I gotta say, Thorin, like, I gotta admit it, like, I've never looked at your nation particularly, but based on what others have said that I do have, like, a level of respect for, apparently your growth does imply something that's worth looking into. I don't personally know. I haven't looked. But I just want to throw it out there because I'm not biased. I don't really intervene with either of you that much at all, really.
You see, that just comes from an underlying. That just comes from an underlying, problem that I have. That's the form of addiction. In terms
I want to
of
throw it out there. Like,
credit
I'm not
purchases.
on either side here.
I just want to give a shout out to Alex for offering a discount if you have the subscription. It has saved me a countless amount of money.
So, like, in-game money or?
No, real life money. Video games have always been my inspiration to work.
So I'm gonna be like completely honest and try to give what I imagine is like an unbiased point of view because I'm not in Crimson, I'm not in Rome, Roman Empire, Empire of Rome, Empire of the Romans. I don't know what they're all called now. Camelot, Camelot Squires, Camelot Kingdom, Camelot Modes. I'm not in any of those alliances.
Just so you sort of know what my view of this is, and I mean this in the nicest way because I think you do try and be genuinely fair on occasion. You are now in a group of
broken on some
alliances.
points, a few of them.
You are
I
now
have
a group
broken
of
on points.
alliances.
Like I have given stances and I have like doubled back and been like, oh,
yeah, no,
I didn't realize.
So I'm just saying this is in the context of how we will end up perceiving whatever you say.
That's
You're in a group that gains relative power if we take any sort of injury, be that economic, reputational, whatever. So from that perspective already, you're already fighting an uphill battle with any of our people.
Am I?
You are. Secondly, you're working with, and I mean that in the nicest way, just loosely working with optional defense and aggression pact with Hand of Fate, which has threatened military action against us over this. Which
it's very
I don't hold
literally
against
optional pact.
I don't hold against you, but it does sort of put you nearer the enemy camp than the neutral one in our book.
I think Hand of Fate could probably barely touch most of your block. Tiering wise,
isn't Hand of Fate like mostly upper tier? Because I don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
I distinctly recall Epi. Epi doesn't have a I don't know. He doesn't tend to be phased by things. It's
I think
interesting.
that we don't have problems with Camelot. I don't know of anyone in our block or even remotely associated with our block that does, and that's how I like it. I don't.
It's a PKR and
I mean,
Polaris and a Fate.
I personally don't
we're
have
not.
problems with anyone. You want to
know how
on the
often I
whole.
spoke to Jaden? You want to know how often I've spoke as the leader of Kata? I've spoken to Jaden like 0 times, maybe once during like the
It's cool. I was
DPE
just
days.
explaining. I was explaining
And
our
so am I.
perspective
I
and
know.
sort of yeah. So
Like
anyway,
you
what
can't
were you
hold me
gonna say?
accountable for like others' sins or whatever you want to call them. Though, like I don't have these like this baggage that you might have
Yeah,
with other people. Like with me, like there's no way that you have like problems with me personally.
I don't. I'm just saying that our
Maybe
people
like a
will always
minor thing here and
interpret
there,
this.
but like I don't know
Yeah, I'm just
Polaris. Like I don't know. I know they're allies of ours. Like if you dig deep enough, like yeah, I guess they're allies of ours. But like we both know how that
yeah.
works. They're not
Yeah,
like
so
allies of
I have no
Kata.
issue with you. I have no issue with you. I'm happy to hear you speak your piece, but I was just sort of filling that in on what our people will sort of think of what you're gonna say. They won't perceive you as a neutral actor.
That's
Not on a
I
political
mean,
level, I know.
I think Thorin lacks the backing of like a group, like a larger group of people. Uh, I'm reading the chat. Sorry.
No, I was
I think
refraining
Thorin lacks
myself
like
from
the
saying
backing.
something.
Like, oh, that's probably good. I mean, so Crimson Dragons, like, they're a smaller, or they were. I don't know. I think they've grown a lot smaller. Well, shrunk a lot smaller, grown a lot smaller. I don't know.
I like grown a lot smaller. It sounds new.
It's unfortunate, and I don't think anyone in the chat. I mean, if you guys want to give me like a response, do you guys want to see a potential micro-ish type of alliance vanish, or would you like to see more alliances sprout up? People want to see like no
I
one wants
think
to see anyone
micros are
disappear
fun.
from the
Okay,
game.
let's be honest. Micros are the source of entertainment. Okay.
Yeah, we want to see more
I'm
people. We don't want people to fade away, right?
I mean we want that too, but sorry to say this, but Crimson Dragons was always gonna merge. It was a question of who, not
Until
if.
they
I mean
didn't, though.
they're talking with Dark Brotherhood about merging right now, straight
I
up.
know,
Like
but aren't they
they went
dropped
straight
from
to
them
them.
though?
They
We did
spoke to
not
House
approach Dark
Stark about it.
Brotherhood. That is incorrect.
I
We also
feel
did not
like
approach House Stark.
Thorin's probably a good person to talk about that, but there's no merge.
I'm
They
sorry.
spoke to
Where
Sketchy
did you?
about it. He said, "Give me back the resources so we can merge them."
Give
That
you
is,
back
we
the
got
resources?
approached. We got approached by Dark Brotherhood, and they asked if we wanted to merge, and we were kind of on the down low. We're like, you know what? Sure, we'll merge, but can you give us everything that Camelot stole from us at the time? And I sent them a list of everything that belonged to every member. I sent this to a couple of alliances that offered us merges, because that's just what people do. And none of them said, "Oh, hold up, I'm looking at the chat here."
Yeah.
There's
You
specific
messaged
circumstances.
the Immortals for a protectorate. You messaged the Fighting Pacifists for a protectorate. You messaged House Stark potentially about a merger. You messaged what's it
Potentials. I mean,
called?
Wait,
obviously nothing has
Uh,
happened because they're
Dark
still
Brotherhood about
Shadow,
the
eating.
you're
merger.
listening. You're listening in chat. Can you DM me? I haven't spoken to them. Did you ask them for? Did you talk to them about a merge?
Thorin, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you still in Crimson Dragons?
No.
Oh shit! Sorry then. Okay, I'm
Oh.
sorry. I didn't
Honestly,
realize.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think.
can't ask the
in the
question
chat,
then.
my friend.
Oh, ask your question.
Who-
What's your question?
Well, who is like the person in charge? I'm sorry, dude. I thought you were still there. Who is the
Oh.
person that's like in charge of CD?
The person in charge of CD. That is a great
Bright
question.
Shadow?
No, Bright Shadow.
Someone who can like check things.
Check things. Yes, that would be Officer. What's going on?
I'm
Officer.
going to I'm going to interject here. I apologize, but I don't believe Crimson Dragons as an alliance exists anymore. The
Oh, God,
best
no.
iteration would be Thorin's whatever alliance he's in.
What's it
If
called?
I remember correctly, Crimson Dragons has merged mainly into another group.
Is that true, Thorin?
We did
The
the
Crimson
alliance
Dragons
actually
has
disbanded.
not merged.
But like, has it? That sort of maybe.
It has not merged. It
But
disbanded.
like maybe okay. Have the members generally gone in some direction?
The members have gone a few directions.
Any with you? I say this because this might change my perspective entirely, and I can't
yes,
lie.
Out of curiosity, Thorin,
what?
what happened to the resources? Because we send them to Crimson.
That is a
True
great
though.
question. Epi, I just want to let you know, none of the resources were sent to my bank.
So where were they sent to? Because there's
That's
probably a way to
amazing.
track that down. There's probably a way to track that down. If we know where they were sent, we could reach out to the people that are still there. They could look at the bank activity logs and just show that, right?
Yeah, we have the two IC sitting, just kind of chilling with
Is
the.
that Bright Shadow?
It would be Officer. Officer also claims that the full
Officer.
payment from Camelot was not sent over. You sent.
You stole it. That's hilarious. So anyone can
Epi,
come
wait.
and see
No,
our bank.
Epi,
And
Epi,
Epi,
he
now
showed
that you're here,
Epi, he showed me a
Epi, you
screenshot.
could also
Okay,
show it.
you did not send the full amount of munitions.
Yeah, Epi, I feel like it's like
There
a
were
two-way street.
300,000 munitions, and you sent 58,800.
I feel like the people on the receiving end could also prove it, but the people
Yeah,
on
here.
the sending end could also prove it.
No, so Crimson Dragons, to my understanding, sent most of their resources direct to Camelot, and then Camelot either sent stuff back through the offshore or through Camelot itself. So we have records of everything. So I know exactly
Wait,
how much
actually,
you
like
sent.
records you're able to like show, or records you're able to like quote? Because
Any of
that's
our
different.
allies or anyone that like third party wants to look at stuff, they can.
I know,
I'm
but
not
like
gonna
I'm just saying,
give
like
every alliance in the game access to our bank.
records that you could show publicly that would like shut myself up and everyone else, or what?
I mean, yeah, sure. I would prefer not to give the entire bank log over.
Keep in mind, not everything was sent to Camelot Direct. It was also sent to. We have a couple deposits that line up with edit dates on both of
But
our.
keep in mind, we sent
spreadsheets.
everything in the bank, which you don't dispute. We sent everything in the bank to you, and then you sent stuff back to us. And then only that stuff you sent back to us.
That was not
is the
everything
stuff
in the
in
bank that
question.
was withdrawn. Only the raws are withdrawn.
Everything is a very quotable term.
We sent all of your resources, everything, the whole bank, to you. And then you sent the manufactured back. You don't dispute that. That's
Do you? Wait, do you,
fact.
Thorn?
I'll have to see. As I am not in the alliance right now, I'm relying on delayed information for this.
Yeah.
But we, or I should say, I.
All right, pause.
I
Press
sent.
the pause button. Press the pause button. Hold on to that thought, please. I gotta go. Show continues. Lysander and Zig will continue the show. This is not over with, but I am leaving. Good night.
Love you, Thalmor.
Anyway, no, we
Who
sent
is the
everything.
guy
I
in
don't
charge
know.
of CD?
I sent.
What's his name?
That's amazing.
It's Officer.
Can someone
His name
ping
is
this
just
person?
Officer.
Is it? He's not in this server. Is he in Ron, perhaps?
So,
Officer Vicious. Yeah, Officer Vicious. I got him. I will be the first to admit that if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I would honestly sort of love it.
you see,
I mean, you gotta love to hate us. You know?
Our goal has been to sort of get that 300,000 mark when it comes to our offshore. And that last deposit right there, the one that Camelot sent back in exact change, was not the total bank.
No, it should have been.
There's a very long string. There's almost 40 transfers between CD and Camelot, or one of the many Camelot alliances you had us send funds to. It was only towards the second half of our prot where you said, "Hey, stop sending them to." It was after I don't recall which.
We should have. That should have all been counted though, because Flavy, who was the original offshore, he took meticulous logs and he did it via Google Sheet.
It was after the Google Sheet. It was when
really
you stopped
good.
updating the Google Sheet and you started accounting for everything with a pinned message in the embassy, which magically disappeared
we never
the day before the prot expired.
I mean, anyone can join our server and have a look at those messages. We didn't edit them, which is the whole point of issuing the messages there, in that someone couldn't edit them, like without it being noticeable. And I think that was part of the reason why we kicked you guys from the embassy. We didn't want you sort of destroying records or tampering with them.
Would you invite me back to the Camelot server and give me embassy access so I can scroll through and look at the last
You?
date?
No.
Why
Someone
not?
else, if they want to audit it, they're welcome
It's
to.
just
Because if
records.
he gets access, if he gets access to the channel, he can delete messages in it. So anyone else,
It's
if there's like a
archive them.
would
You
VP
I-
said you would share
auditor
them
that wants to
publicly.
do it.
What benefit would I have deleting the message?
You said you would share them publicly already.
No, I'm saying if he has a
All I'm
dispute
asking
and he
for
wants
is the
more
last time
resources
that
from us,
I'm not asking
if
for
he
more.
wants
I'm
more
asking
resources
for.
from us,
I'm
all he has
asking
to
for
do
what
is
we
edit a
sent.
message.
I do not have
Yeah,
to edit
and
the message.
we've
I have to
given
look at
all
the
of that
in-game
back.
log.
I'm sorry,
the
we're not
issue
going
is
to
you
give you any more resources. We had a dispute with
Yes.
Crimson at the end, not you, Crimson as the Alliance. And that we felt that it was an obligation for us to right the wrong with the Alliance as a sort of abstract an abstract idea, not you. And we sent the resources back there. Now you're claiming you didn't even receive the resources. You said that like 5 or 10 minutes ago. You didn't receive them. They're not in your bank.
Yeah,
Right?
they're not going to me
That was your
directly.
claim.
They're going to the members. They
Yeah,
belong to.
Yo, you heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first.
highly doubt that, but okay.
Well, I mean, but why would you
We've sent
assume
stuff back.
the worst scenario?
We've sent stuff back. We've righted the wrong in our book.
But it ain't your money to begin with, though. So what do you care?
The problem is
Hmm?
that
It ain't yours to
Say what?
begin with. So why do you care?
There's we listed like 7 reasons, but one of them
I
being that
know,
we
but
fought
like,
a war in December to get these resources back. Like
yeah.
all of our members, 100+ members, spent time and energy and money to get these resources back for them. And so to see them end up in like the hands of another scammer in our book is deeply wrong.
Yo, officers here. We got him in the chat.
Wonderful.
Yes.
But anyway, at
Epi,
the
are
end
you
of the day, this
trembling?
is
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, by the way.
no. One of the reasons why this all sort of struck us as really strange was that a lot of alliances here, I mean this in the nicest way, you don't care about Crimson Dragons. That isn't really your objective.
Is it yours?
Your
Is it
objective
yours?
is just, huh?
Is
Well,
it
no, because we
yours?
helped Crimson
would-
Dragons for a whole year.
I
We
know,
have
but you
many
have their
Crimson Dragons
bank.
former members in Camelot. We gave all
That
the
is
money
tr-
back.
we benefited. We
For
benefited under Camelot. We grew quite a bit, but towards the end, it seemed like the
Lysander, can you bring Officer on the show?
relation kind of tricked to a halt. And then at the end, it was just
yeah,
like nothing good had
we
ever
was
happened. It was just all bad.
well, fair. In fairness, we
If you
fought
like
a
someone
war
and you
for
want them to
you in
grow,
December. In fairness,
why
we fought a war
would you
for you in December
drop slot and rob an alliance that you liked and wanted to grow?
because we fought a war for you in December, and then you said you'd merge, and we prepared stuff, and then randomly you 180'd, and we didn't really know what was happening, and we felt more and more like you were trying to scam people, and
So this is all going off of a hunch
Yeah.
that you had
Yo, Officer's
back
here.
upon nothing.
it was going off of multiple staff people saying that there was weird behavior in the server. There
Weird
was
behavior in the
weird
server.
transactions in the game. I saw weird
Please elaborate
behavior.
weird behavior in the server.
Well, there was weird behavior, sort of what you were telling me, and that you were sending, like they approved giving you all those resources. We looked at it and we were like, this is just highly unusual, and we don't want to be part of that.
Sorry, what?
So yeah, so we gave you recommendations though to other alliances, and we said, hey, if you guys want to take them on as a protectorate, feel free. Just look into the finances a little bit. And when you tried to join Grumpy, we said, hey, feel free. He's a great member. He's fought well in wars. Only thing, just maybe don't give him bank access. Just be a bit wary on that front. But otherwise, full recommendation. So we've been very polite to CD.
Why
We've
is
looked
this
out
still
for them
being?
when a
Why is
lot of
this
other
still being
alliances sort of
disputed
wouldn't.
when there is no wrongdoing on my behalf?
Yo,
We're
logs
still
or
putting
there's
it to
nothing.
rest.
Logs or there's nothing.
Epi,
Logs or there's
I
nothing.
I I'm appalled by this.
Were
Yeah, really.
Just these
were
blank
the
Officer?
accusations of
Oh.
no?
embezzlement.
This is me, Deca. Sorry
So
to disappoint you.
No,
If
I'm sorry.
Were
I found in
the
these sorts of disputes, there's one alliance that I've found that I've come to trust in resolving these sorts of disputes.
Cataclysm, probably.
Strangely enough,
Cataclysm, right?
if Rose wants to come and look through our bank records and
Bruh.
through the messages in our embassy and resolve the dispute, they are welcome to. If CC from Ya wants to do it, he's welcome to.
What about Cata?
We
so
will not be inviting anyone else to do that. Only those
What
two
about Cata,
alliances,
though?
if you want to, because in our experience,
Why does
in my
That'd
so
be
experience,
this puts
invite
us
me.
you guys,
this puts us at a serious hindrance here in this argument.
Hey,
Because
I'm
we have no
following this
control.
day to day.
We have
Invite me, please.
we are the ones out here who got attacked, and now we are being victimized by our aggressor on the court floor. And you're saying that we can't pick. We're using your investigators. Do you see how this sounds, Epi?
no, I'm
Can
saying we're asking a
can I
third party
interject
block
for
that
a
has a
minute?
But
history of doing this
it's
very
your
well.
third party.
We have no treaty with Rose.
I have one very
That's my
specific
lunchbox.
question that I
It's
would
the
like
other
to
one's my
ask
lunchbox.
Thorin. So, Thorin, you
What?
and this is, I guess, Deca's arguing with Thorin. So to Deca too. There was a question. It was just brought up 5 minutes ago before the tangent happened again about you, Thorin, asked why are we still discussing this in reference, I believe, to alleged wrongdoing on your own part. Was what was it? I think it's 4 billion. Deca, you've got a lot of background noise, mate. I think it was
I'm sorry.
4.
I'm talking with my daughter. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're okay. No worries.
We're laughing at this.
So your bank withdrawals and deposit transaction net, Thorin, was roughly negative $10 billion over the last year. Was this
$10 billion
ever
over a year?
answered
Fun.
during? I apologize. It's been very hard for me to follow like the 30 different threads. What was this ever answered?
Yes, it was. So I think what this is not taking into account is I've been doing a lot of just constant credit purchases and 100 tax to basically I've been on 100 tax for the past 400 days. 100 tax running bulk trades through they're all there in the logs if somebody wants to look in through, and if you're still being skeptical about this, you can look through the logs and see on the back end of the bank. You can see tax records. You can sum up the tax records and see that, hey, there's like 15 billion in tax records right here.
Can you show that?
Yeah.
I
Officer,
don't
can you?
doubt or believe you. Is that something you can prove? That's all.
Yeah, it
The
can be
only
proved.
way I can see this, yes, George, I understand that, but there is a limit to how far the rambling can go. The only way I can see that the credits making up for the 10 billion would be if your tax records weren't counted in the deposit withdrawal. And if that's the case, then yeah, that would line up.
That was not including tax records. Overall, I think from my own calculations, I've still been negative like 3 billion with CD. It's never been like my goal to be profitable from an alliance. I've only done it purely from sort of I genuinely don't know why. It's just there's something very entertaining to me about micropolitics. It's the perfect level of humorous and
Politics on a micro level.
comedic.
This is why we didn't let you do FA.
Epi,
and then
I offered to be your micro FA guy, okay? And you said no.
I think we were. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry. Anyone who enjoys micropolitics, we don't let them do micropolitics.
That's not funny, but it is funny.
Yeah.
Who cares, right? This game sucks. Can we all agree on that? This game sucks.
Yeah. Anyhow, in my book, I think we've righted it wrong. If there was any wrong, and we feel there was towards CD as an abstract alliance and not to any particular member.
Beat our humans.
My issue is that
They're
right,
humans.
We would allow
this has not
Rose
been
or
righted though.
You said
There's
they're
still-
abstract.
Rose or
There are still missing funds.
They're human
Okay,
beings,
Rose,
Epi.
Okay, Rose or
Officer,
Ya.
can you
If
post
they
the
want to,
can you post the log of that deposit in
Epi called them
Rose or
subhumans.
Ya. Okay, Rose or Ya can join our alliance. They can join our offshore. They can join a Discord, and they can join Crimson Dragon's alliance and Discord if they want. And CD approves the Discord front. They should approve the in-game alliance, and they can do a full audit if they wish, and we will sort of abide by whatever they determine. If they don't want to do that, sorry, but we don't really trust anyone else to do this, and we will not be returning anything else. Our apologies.
Come on, Epi.
They're
Epi.
both big alliances and well-respected
Are they-
ones, and we hold them in high
So-
enough regard to do this because we
Do
haven't
you-
seen any other alliance really
Epi.
be capable of doing this and
Epi,
looking out
Epi.
for other alliances.
Epi. Are
Because
they a big
Their
alliance?
reputation matters more to them than the pixels.
No, you can't say
And-
that. You're not them.
Epi?
No. Just in our experience, that's what we've determined.
Well, Thorn's here.
And that
or
does-
Grav-
That can't be
officers
said
here.
for most alliances.
I'm here for the pixels, okay? I don't know about
Officer,
you.
is that true? Do you hold yourself in high regard or whatever? Officer, is that
Yeah.
true?
Higher
No, Epi, you can't
regard.
answer. Epi, you can't answer for officer. He's here.
Huh? No, I wasn't.
I know. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
guys. Don't worry, guys. The new Camelot law says that Epi will answer for everyone.
I'm Epi. I'm seriously. I'm messing because I thought it was really funny. Because it is really funny. Because
Yeah,
they're in this call right now. Officer, is that
it's not
true?
saying anything.
Oh, what? Officer, officer,
Yes.
you're not. Oh, oh shit, he's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Dude, you sound like you're 28 years old.
Higher.
Really? 32.
34.
Bro, I'm 34. Really?
Hey, yeah, 34.
We're gonna say really? 1988.
1988, June 2nd.
Bro, 19. Wait, what month?
June.
You're older than me by like. Wait, what's the date?
June
Roughly.
2nd.
You're older than me by like 1 month and a bunch of days. I don't know. July 23rd. Let's go.
Hell yeah. So,
Yeah, 88.
what do you want to know?
88. Did you receive funds from Camelot? God, why am I even in this call? To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you receive funds from Camelot that were your funds to begin with? I guess.
Yes. Well,
Oh shit! All right. Well, there you go. All right.
I mean, I don't know. There is the dispute. I mean,
I
got
don't
partial
know.
funds, but like, it more or less everything is there, but minus like a little bit of one thing. But
It's
I
a
mean,
little bit like arguable on your end, or like it's whatever.
it's arguable. I mean, it all stems down to the
it's
end of the day. It comes down
it's
to
almost
money.
250,000 munitions. That's expensive, especially for
How
a
much?
micro.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like about 250.
That's a good
I'd say
chunk.
give or yeah.
I think any alliance would be like any alliance that couldn't come up with like that bank record would be like, where'd that go? Where'd that
Right.
$250,000 go?
No,
If
quarter
y'all
million
or
munitions.
Rose want to investigate it, they're welcome to. If they do
Well,
not,
I
we
mean,
will
we got
be
the
pursuing it.
guys. We got the guys that like. We got the guys that are involved.
I don't care. If Rose or Yar wants to
I
independently
know.
investigate
I
it, they
mean,
can.
but
If they do
I don't
not,
think
they
we care
will
that
not.
it's. I don't think we care that Rose is what you want. To be honest,
This right here
I
was
no, I'm
the.
just
why?
saying.
Why
Frankly, we
Rose?
won't be
Why
doing
Rose?
anything, and we sort of close this
But why Rose? Like,
because
why do you care
in
if Rose is
previous
involved?
in previous disputes, sort of stuff, we've seen very good action on behalf of Yar specifically.
You can give
Look
the
at the
action,
recent
though.
Roman
You
Empire
can give
stuff.
the action.
No.
Like, you
Look
could
at the
give the
recent
action.
Roman Empire stuff. They've done very
Eh.
well. I have my criticisms.
Who's
I
that?
have my
Tiberius?
criticisms, but overall, they've done very well.
Epi.
So we trust Yar to independently
Epi.
investigate it if that's something they choose.
But I mean,
If
Epi.
Rose wants to do it, and Rose is an alliance much like Yar and very
We just want
close
you
to
to do it.
Yar, and with a bigger staff to tackle something of this size, they are welcome to
Epi.
do it as well. If either of
Epi.
those alliances want to pursue it, they are welcome to. We do
I
not
think
trust
we
any other
want
alliance
you to
with
do it,
this
though.
because if we select one of our allies, like TFP, whom we trust to investigate this, then
Epi.
people will look at that and say, well, TFP is an ally, they're going to act in Camelot's favor. And
Epi.
in total frankness, we do not have the relations with Midgard, with TKR, with any of these other blocks to suggest that they could do it. So we really only have Rose and Yar, which we consider relations normalized, and that they have this sort of reputation and interest to sort of do right by this and not act in anyone else's favor. Right? We
You're
think they
telling
might
me that
actually
if
be as close to genuinely unbiased as someone could be in a game of relative power, which is very difficult.
you're telling me if Rose looks through the records that you have, that you
No, I'm
don't
saying
want to
they should
look
look
through.
at.
Oh, I'm still going. Let me go. You're
That's
saying
okay,
if
go.
Rose looks through the records, I don't mean it to be offensive. You're saying if Rose goes through the records that you currently have, that Crimson Dragon should also currently have, and that you already said you'd be willing to share to third
I
parties.
think it would be better if
that
they looked
that
through
you
Crimson Dragon's records
well,
because there have been we've made deposits to Camelot alliances or Camelot offshores, I should say, that were later
250,000
deleted.
munitions. Let's see how much that costs. That's what 1,800.
Okay. So,
Not even
1,800.
that.
So-
I mean, we weren't even asking for the full thing back.
That's
We had
450
100,000
million bucks, bro. 250,000 munitions, 450 million bucks.
Epi. 150 mil might not be much for you. I know you were like,
Give me the
talking
records.
about how you were making like a bill a day or something crazy, but
Give me the record. I'll do it.
over at
Matter of
CD,
principle.
this is
yeah, Abbas, it is literally
250,000
nothing.
munitions is about 450 million bucks. That's
It is
a
literally nothing,
penny.
Abbas.
Exactly. So fork it up.
And they are trying to
Fork it up.
extort us over this.
It's
shit.
nothing. You're right. It's nothing. It's nothing.
We've righted the wrong in our book. If you guys
Have you,
want
though?
more, you have to
Not
prove
more.
it.
Just
And
I
you
mean,
have a means of proving
you
it.
have the
We have
records.
two groups which
Share
can
them.
investigate this.
Show the records. Show the records.
We're not going to give you records of our entire bank. And if we just say the record says X and they say the record doesn't say X, well, who do you
Officer,
believe? It's a matter of
Officer, are
subjective
you able
opinion.
to pull these?
Do you know how
Officer,
you get an objective opinion?
Yeah.
Rose
I
or
know how
Yard
I
joins
can.
the alliance. They have a look
Officer,
at the
are you
bank
able
log
to
and they
get
say
the
yes, that's what
records
happened.
of what Crimson should have and what it does have, Officer?
I mean, I have access to all the history of bank records and tax records from the beginning of time for this place. So
I know we're like the same age, and this is like petty as fuck, right?
I mean, I understand the root cause of it. At the end of the day, it's money. It's what it is. It all comes down to money.
You and I are like
And-
the same age. Like we both know this is like really.
Yeah.
But I
no, it
but I
is.
get it.
400
Why are you
million
thinking
worth
that?
of munitions, like really? That's like 4 days of production.
mean,
keep
it's
in
like-
mind for an alliance of our size, that is not 4 days production. That
Epi,
is
come
like
on,
a
bro.
month's income.
Epi, you could take a 400 million is a month of Camelot's income.
No, a month of our income.
Epi,
I mean, it's
450
we're wounded.
million
We're
is
a
a
weak
month
animal.
of income. Epi, you
10
could take
mil
the
is
high
too
road.
much for us.
Epi, you could take the high road so hard right now, and I want you to so bad.
Hey, I
I
don't give a
want you
shit,
to.
mate. If Yar
Epi,
or Rose,
Epi,
if Yar or
Epi.
Rose wants to investigate, they
Why
are
not me?
welcome
I'll
to.
do it. I'll do it. You said
Everyone
250,000
else can
munitions.
go to hell.
Epi, I'll do it. I will do
Um,
it, and I'll give you every log. I'll do it. I love this stuff. I love it, Epi. Please, come on, Epi. Rose isn't here.
What I
Yara
find
isn't
funny,
here, but I'm
what
here.
I find funny
I'm
is
here,
that
baby. Let me do it, baby. Woo!
okay, no,
I'm here
Lysander,
right now.
my friend. You've seen a lot of banks fail. You've seen a lot of disputes
You're
like
the
this.
bank,
of
man.
sorts.
I'm just a calculator, and I'll
When a
calculate it
party
right now.
says that they would welcome Yar or an independent third party to investigate it, is that usually the sign that they are in the wrong or in the right? In
I'll
your
leave
experience.
Cataclysm as its leader on the spot, and I'll join Rose. If that means I can get the logs, and I'll figure it out. I swear, hand on my right hand on my
Yeah, I don't care.
heart.
Lysander, what is your opinion
No.
here?
You will care because you said that if Rose or Yar will do it, that you'll oblige to it. And I'm telling you on the
Yeah,
spot,
and Yar
I'll
and
leave
Rose will
Cataclysm
not
as
do
its
that.
leader. You know what? All right, okay, we'll see.
It would be a
And
violation
if
of
I
that
reach out,
trust, which they wouldn't do.
so it matters only if it's a current Rose member.
I'm saying that
I will
we don't
join
think
Rose
you're
right
a
now.
neutral party, and so we think Rose and Yar are neutral parties,
Bro,
and we think
I
if they
want
conducted the
you to take
investigation,
the
they would
high
do it properly.
ground here. I don't have any angst against Camelot.
No, I'm just saying that
It's
we think
400
that they would
million worth
conduct the
of munitions.
investigation properly, and we don't think that you would be
Crumbs.
involved in that. But if they choose
Epi.
to involve you, that's their decision. As I said, it'd be up to them.
250,000 munitions. It's crumbs, and we both know it.
It
Like,
is,
it's a good
which is
amount. It's a
why
good
it's
amount. Like,
ridiculous that you're pushing for it.
is it though? No. You ain't
It is.
gaslighting me on this one. No.
You have no
said if
stake
Rose or
here.
Yar would
You
do
have
it,
no
that
stake
you would
in the
oblige
outcome of
to
this
it.
dispute.
Can
You
we just
already
acknowledge,
said
guys,
if
can we just
Rose
acknowledge the irony
or
here?
Yar would do it, that you would oblige to it. I'm saying I'll go to Rose and I'll push the point. So now it's all of a sudden me like pushing a narrative. I'm pushing your narrative.
Guys,
I literally
guys,
just said if
we all
Rose
know.
wants to do it, like they want to send you specifically, that is their decision, and we will
And
abide by
I'll
that.
go there and I'll
But we
help
don't
push
think
that point on
just-
your behalf.
But our
That's
belief
what you want,
is that
isn't
they
it?
probably shouldn't do it.
Why?
They probably shouldn't put you in there.
No, why not?
Because we think that would be in bad faith.
Of what?
Because we don't really trust you. No offense intended. So, Rose is welcome to conduct an investigation. Yar is welcome to investigate. That is
Bruh.
our position. We will
I'll
not be
do it on
returning
the
anything
spot right
until
now, and you're
that
waiting for a
investigation is
ghost.
conducted.
You're waiting for a
We
Rose
wish
who
Crimson
isn't here,
Dragons all
and you're
the
waiting for
best.
Yar who isn't here. How
We
convenient.
wish Crimson
I'm here
Dragons
right
all the
now, and I'll
best.
do it. I'll do it right
guys,
now.
Crimson
guys,
Dragons and
guys, can we
their
stop this? Can we stop the
affiliated
unnecessary
organization.
quarreling right now?
I'm
maybe.
not.
I
Just
don't know.
come back to the root issue here, okay? The root issue here is that we had to offshore through Cam,
250,000.
and they're shorting 250,000 munitions and claiming it's an insignificant amount, whilst not returning it because it's an insignificant amount.
It's so little that we
We're not
can't
returning
afford
it
it.
because we don't think
It's so
that's the
little that
right
we're
thing
not
to
gonna
do.
do it. I know
No,
Epi enough to that if somebody owed Epi 250,000 munitions, he would not bat an eye to send his entire alliance to war to get it back.
Of allies and on
You're waiting for
principle,
Rose
of
who
which
ain't
you are
here and
neither.
Yar who ain't here. You're waiting for people that aren't in this call to do a thing that someone that is in the call is willing to do.
And can be done in the duration of the call.
Yes, Lysander.
I hate to crash the party, but CCT has been here the whole time.
Bro, bring him
Yeah.
in. Bring him in. Epi, you
can
say that like
investigate if he
Epi, you
wishes.
say that like it's on your defense, but I don't think that's the case. And if it's true, then I'll admit it wrong. But bring him in. Please bring him in. I'd love
feel
to
free.
be humble.
But CCT he's welcome to conduct an investigation. I know he already has the Roman Empire stuff, so it might take some
Bro,
time.
it's 250k
We're happy to
munitions.
compensate him for the effort if that's what he wants to do.
I'll do it for free.
This sounds like bribery.
Yeah, no.
I'll do it for
We're willing to
free.
compensate you for the effort if you help us out.
No,
Okay,
I'm saying that
brief
if-
timeout. One in the chat if you want Thalmor to do a separate court case on this whole matter.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to subject myself to that.
Oh,
if CCT
you know what?
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I'm gauging interest.
I'll pay 50k munitions to whichever party gets it if I'm determined to be the person that decides where the 250k
The
go.
boss, they
Add
are
50k
disputing
into
and
the
saying
pot. There you go.
that boss, they're
How's
saying
that?
that Rose and Yar
50K
are
munitions,
qualified
what?
to do this.
Guys,
That is
guys,
their
guys,
debate.
I
That is their
appreciate
argument.
how we can bring this to such a light note. But this is like the entire war chest and savings of over 25 people we're talking about. here.
Exactly, and it's so small. Like, come on, bro. It's 400
Why didn't you
million.
give it
Let's-
over to
come
them?
on.
Why didn't you give it to them, Deca?
Why didn't I? Because I didn't steal it.
That is
No,
true.
I'm saying
I can
if you
confirm.
want to do the
I
right
didn't
thing
steal
with
it, that's
generous
why.
The
giving,
only thing
you
Deca
could give
stole.
it to them.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That was a little rude. Because
No,
I'm
because
not
Deca, as you
involved, but
said,
I
you guys
feel
make
bad
2
for them.
billion a day. Sorry, you make like 2 billion a day. You wouldn't give them a
Epi,
quarter of that,
Epi.
a fraction.
Of course I wouldn't, but would you give their own stuff back? Like,
Of
I'm
course
being
you wouldn't.
honest. Come
Is
on,
that what you
Epi.
said? Of course
Do you
you
want
wouldn't.
these? Would you be happy with knowing that half of these people would quit the game because of this stuff? Like, come on,
They
man.
wouldn't. But
It's
no,
pennies for
what was it that
it's
you
pennies
said?
for
They
What
you.
would
was it
not
you
only
said
quit the
before?
game,
Of
they would
course you
also
wouldn't.
just quit their lives.
Epi.
Let's be honest.
Epi. Okay, no,
Keep
Epi.
in mind, you said of course you wouldn't. You would not give them a dime.
Because
That's
it's
what you
your
said.
problem, not mine. I want to help them. That's why, of course
You
not.
want to help them, but you won't give them anything.
Epi, you
How
got
about
their
giving them a
bank.
protectorate? How about
Epi,
that?
you have their bank.
How about you give them a protectorate?
Do you see me as like a vocal voice for them?
No, I'm saying that
answer's-
you're
no,
standing
no,
in their
the answer's
defense,
yes.
and you're arguing they should be helped. And so
Epi.
I'm saying you should sign them give them a
Epi, is
protectorate.
400
No
million
one else is
really
giving
worth
them a
it?
protectorate in this environment. If you want to do the
Is
right thing, give them a protectorate.
if I want to do the right thing, bro, you got 250,000. No, yeah.
You're
It's
arguing
not
in
a
their defense.
yeah
All these
moment. It's
people
not a
here.
yeah moment.
You're standing
Epi.
in front of all of us saying that they need to be helped. And you could be the
You're
one to do
the
it.
person. Yeah, you're the person. Like, it's 250k munitions, bro. Come on. That's
Yeah, it's
nothing.
nothing. You could help them, actually help them by
And
giving
you
them a
could just
protectorate.
return it.
I'm just
You could
saying,
just
anybody
You're
can
right.
say you can
Epi.
go and
I get
save
what
a
you're
dog.
saying, but nice try. I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, we could easily afford it. But you
No,
could
I'm
just
not saying
return it.
give them that. I'm saying give them the protectorate. They've been asking everyone
Epi.
to avoid mergers. Give them the protectorate, so that way they don't have to rely on all of these other people that just want to scam them. If you want to
How
do the
does
right
that
thing,
help
do that.
you? Epi, how does that help you?
It doesn't.
It
It
doesn't.
only helps Guns and Dragons,
I'm not.
which
I'm
makes it
not
the
going
right thing
out
to
here
do.
asking for help. I'm just asking to have back what was taken.
You said Rose and Yar, they could look into it. What if they determined that you were wrong, Epi? Then what? Then all
I
this
said that we
help,
would abide it, and
all
we would
this
send the
like
resources.
help that other AAs could give. Then what if they determined, hey, Epi, you know what? You're the AA that should be giving this stuff back. Then what? Is
And we
that called
would.
hypocrisy?
I literally said that when
Epi,
they
can
led
you
the
read the
investigation, we
numbers?
would abide the outcome.
Can you read the numbers? Are they hard to understand? Do you need Yar or Rose to interpret numbers?
I'm saying that I need Rose and
need
Yar
them?
to come out and say that their reputation is behind the facts.
Do you need
Because you don't
Yar
trust
or
us.
Rose
I
to
don't
read
trust
numbers?
you. So we need an
I
objective third party.
don't
and we
care.
believe that's an objective third party. If you do not agree that that is an objective third party, that is an
Epi,
insult to them.
I
Right?
said
That's
I
not
would
on us. That's an
add.
insult to them.
I will add 20% of whatever this amount is onto it if you let me investigate it. But you won't let me.
If you want to investigate it, you can join Rose or Yar.
Give me the records. Please DM them to me.
If people want the records, Yar and Rose can join the alliances
Exactly.
themselves and independently
Bingo.
verify that the logs themselves aren't just correct, but
I'll
the
reach out to
alliance
Rose.
in
I'll
game,
reach
the
out to Rose.
transaction was made. Fact, objective. So
I'll
if they
factually,
want to do that,
objectively
they are
reach out
welcome
to
to.
Rose.
If they want to do that themselves, we don't think that they will let
Epi
you
is-
in, to be
God,
honest,
this is
because we don't think that would be in good faith of them. But that is their decision, right?
Why?
It's their
Why are you
decision.
giving? You're literally what, rank number 13. Why you need to reach out to Rose and Yar to double check numbers?
CCT has agreed to do it. So Yar has agreed to do it.
It's just
And
numbers,
they will
bro.
do it
It's
after the Roman
numbers.
Empire stuff.
It's literally 1 + 1, 1 - 1. It's just basic
We'll
math. Why do you
preserve the
need them to
offshore
figure it out?
CCT so that way there's no dispute over that. I
They're
don't know if
already
it has
handling
too
the
many
Bank of Orbit stuff
transactions.
that you're like slightly potentially part of. Why do you need them to figure this out too? CCT is already like he already has his hands full, and if I'm
Is
speaking out of my
Hey, I have
place,
a
then
quick-
I
I have a quick
apologize.
question.
Agreed to do it if both parties agree. So do you agree that CCT can investigate?
Am I
How
supposed to
about
answer or
Officer and
CCT?
Thorin? Officer and Thorin should answer if they agree with me, which I've already given my assent to CCT
CCT
to
is in this
investigate.
chat.
If they
He's in the
agree,
call. CCT can answer. They don't need to answer. CCT can answer.
no, I'm saying Thorin and Officer need
See,
to
but you're
agree
asking
to give
if
over
they
their records.
agree to a third person. CCT, are you willing to even do this?
Well, if you read the text, you'd see I said I would, just, obviously not right now, because
Hmm.
I have to be able to get back into my alliance, so I have to arrange that with my second in command, because I have stuff to do.
The Bank of Orbis stuff, I'd assume. Which, by the way, thank you. My God, I can't imagine a burden. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Instead of pulling off the busy people, why not just take the person who's able to help and willing to help right here, right now?
I would prefer the trusted source, CCT, to do it when he is available
That is not trusted by Thorin.
at the nearest convenience.
Justice cannot wait. Justice has waited long enough.
Then Rose is more than welcome to do it themselves. They have a huge staff, the biggest in the game,
Have
I've
they
heard.
offered that, though? Have they offered that, or are you, like, just pushing that on them?
Abbas,
Okay, get Rose.
anyone in
Have
Rose
they-
with
done.
FA
I'm sure they can
permissions,
get it done
if
in
they
a
want to
day,
step
okay?
forward and
20 people
say they're welcome to do it.
rifling through bank logs could get this done in a day. Okay.
Take hours, if that. But we're going to push
Okay.
it onto an alliance
Rose,
that's
do you
not
think?
in this chat at all.
Oh, sorry.
Instead,
Abbas,
let's
do you
push
think
it
Rose
onto
would
an
be
alliance
interested
that
in
has
doing this?
pretty much one person willing to do it. Yes, great idea.
Yeah.
I'll spend my whole day tomorrow doing it.
Okay. Is that I do to the hating micros, or I do in thinking that someone in Rose might be interested in investigating this? Ah, darn. Okay. Well, CCT is welcome to do it when he's available. Aside from that, I think we've sort of debated this to its end. We wish Crimson the best in finding new allies, and we give a full recommendation on their military affairs, not so much their foreign affairs, and not so much their economics. But they fought in their wars, so we commend them that. And we encourage all those that stood up for them in this event to sign protectorate treaties with them. Those being specifically Hand of Fate, what's it called, Cataclysm, that ODOAP ally, and I don't know, anyone else, I guess.
Does that worry you? Does Cataclysm having an optional defense pact with someone worry you?
Anyone else understand that?
Does it worry you? Does it?
Does it worry you having the optional defense pact, Epi?
Yeah.
No, Molan Lay,
Okay.
bring it.
I'm still
A bunch worry about Hand of Fate, but not them. Only them having an optional defense pact with Cataclysm doesn't even make sense.
No, I'm saying that people that threaten us with war and their allies.
so it took a threat
Never
from
biased.
war to return stolen goods.
No, we didn't. In fact, if you want to attack us over this, it's a full CB. Come at it.
That's not
Have
Cata's
fun.
plan, by the way.
No, but if you want it, you have it.
No,
But you don't.
just okay. Well, we could, but that ain't the plan whatsoever. But to be worried about
no,
Hand
I
of Fate's treaty with Kata is ridiculous, unless you're worried
I'm
about
not, I'm
Hand of
saying
Fate to
that-
begin with.
I'm saying that people threaten us with war. They are not
We
neutral.
We haven't.
You're allied to the people
don't
that
have-
did.
war threat.
I don't care what our allies do, bro. I'm not our allies. I'm not Velyni. I'm not Duck. I'm not Dennison. I ain't Hand of
So-
Fate.
No. So
It's
if the
optional. We have an
TFP, if our
optional
great
treaty with
buddies-
them.
No. If our great buddies TFP said, "Kata, we're gonna roll you," and then we
Oh,
said as a
well,
neutral
whatever.
third party. If we came out and said as a neutral third party, we don't think they will.
I mean, yeah, okay. I mean that.
But look
Yeah.
at that. No, I think there's some bias there. But that is all I was saying. On that front.
Was that Schwinn, right? Schwinn and TFP.
Perhaps. Anyway.
I thought Schwinn and
Another
Howard was
person
here.
that offered help for publicity.
I'm just gonna say, okay, I'm calming down. I would love to go through the 250,000 munition records. If not, it's whatever. I don't see the point in waiting for Rose or Yar. Yar has their hands full. They're dealing with another
Okay,
bank's
Deca,
problems.
I'm here. I'm here.
Yo, Abbas, how are you?
Pretty good. Pretty
Hey.
good.
Nice to
I'm
meet
not
you. I
doing
don't
any
think we've really
counting.
spoke.
I'm just doing conflict resolution for micros.
Oh yeah, are you?
Fun.
Are you? Is that really what this is?
Yeah. Anyways,
If I were all
anyway,
chuckling.
I'm still like kind of confused about why do we need an accountant? Because like I thought we all knew that he sent it back, but he just didn't send 250k munitions. Isn't that
No,
what
he sent
happened?
50,000, and where he was supposed to
So
send
so
300,000.
we dispute, yeah. So we dispute that they sent us a certain amount. We sent that amount back, and they're saying that that amount is wrong, and that we've sent less.
The
Yeah.
the last showing that we had depicting our offshore, which was fully accounted for, was 100,000 uranium, 300,000 of each manu. And then the proc
Yeah,
treaty ended.
so
I
we're
got removed from the server, requested withdrawal of all of it. I'm not even disputing the fact that we got short at 25,000 uranium. I don't care about the uranium. I only care about the big chunk because I've already dipped into my personal funds to just bail out all these. We have members who've had their stuff stolen, their war chest completely stolen, and they're like, "Hey, I can't deal with this anymore. I have to go now." And I'm like, okay, so I'm literally sending daily payments, just reimbursing people from stolen stuff. Because at the beginning of the alliance, I promised everyone that their funds would be safe in the bank because Camelot said they would be safe in their offshore.
and contrasting that, we gave them their whole bank. They sent some of it back to us. 15 members, I think, was it 10 to 15 members of Crimson Dragons joined us. And we've sent all the resources that we received back. No more, no less. The exact amount.
When were there
And
10
those
to...
members who were
I'm
increasing,
sorry, when
who've
did
now
10 to
joined
15
us,
members join
they've
Camelot?
been sort of screwed. It was a few months back, remember? You sent your entire low tier to us. Because you, in your own words, didn't really want to train new people anymore.
I don't recall sending away
Yeah.
the low tier to Camelot. But we did have... We were planning on shifting our focus to primarily the mid tier instead of having this sort of split between, just low tier and mid tier.
Yeah. From memory, you sent people over. And that was sort of you didn't really want to train them. You tried it a bit, didn't really work out.
You said
And
you
you were
spoke to
becoming
some
more
of
of
these
a
members
high
that you
tier.
sent over? Who did you...
It's been a few months, to be honest. I don't talk to every single member.
do you recall any one member?
Not really, but they were all city 3s and 4s. I didn't really pay attention.
Okay,
Oh,
this is
yeah, Head would know
off
them.
to a different tangent altogether. Okay, let's get
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to
kind of.
the topic at hand.
I don't think
My
any...
only question is why, Epi, why did you send the amount that you sent? Where did that information
That
come
was
from? How did you come to that
so.
information?
I can pull it up. They sent an exact
Yeah, just
amount to
pull it up
Camelot's
and
bank.
tell me exactly how you decided on whatever amount you sent them.
Okay. I gotta open up my PC. So
And then, Torin, how did you come up with the number that you have?
The number that I have,
Because
the number
you
that I
mentioned
sent.
that it's a multiple transactions, right? So I'm just curious,
Yes.
how did that total come about?
So our war chest minimum through Camelot was 100,000 uranium, 300,000 gas, 300,000 steel, 300,000 bauxite, and 300,000 aluminum. Or not bauxite, sorry. Just muni, steel, gas, and aluminum. All right, manufactured. So we
So this
sent
is
that. We
some-
sent that specific amount because that was the amount that we needed to send to top up our war chest at exactly the required amount.
And when did you send this amount?
I do not have that. Give me a sec. I'm gonna look it up. Officer, can you send me the? Can you DM me the thing?
Right. Where's it?
For the first time we've had dead air in over an hour.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Deca struggling POV. I'm kidding. Abis, can I ask you
Then
a OOC question?
Yeah, sure.
Are you from? Don't answer if this is too much. Are you from perhaps Africa or the Middle East?
The latter.
Okay. Yeah, you remind me of someone that I used to be underneath as far as Gov goes, and the voice just reminded me of him. Actually,
Are
you
you
probably know
talking about
exactly. Yeah, I'll DM you. You probably
face?
know exactly what I'm speaking of. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he's a Sudani, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess
Yep. Yeah. I don't want you to say too much. Yeah. That's exactly who you reminded me of.
all right, sounds good. So, okay, so Thorin, did you find the? So your argument is that there is 300K that you sent in.
Yes, that was
because
sent on 12/27/22 at 7:41 p.m. with the note offshore from the Crimson Dragon Bank to the Camelot Bank by myself, and the amount sent was
Can you
75,000
provide
uranium.
that log?
Sorry, what?
Can you provide the log?
Yeah, I don't have the. I just have what I got copy pasted. Officer has the screenshots. Actually, I think I have it.
let's see if I can find the embassy.
So the third last thing, I'm assuming these are munitions.
Yeah, so
Um,
5,800 munitions is what we received, and we sent exactly
Hun-
that amount back.
My issue is that Camelot disregarded all of the previous deposits and withdrawals. But
We disagree with that notion because our bank was handled by Flavy, which is very
So-
well respected generally.
Who'd you say? I'm not.
Yeah. So
I just
my
didn't hear that.
question.
But this was
Flavi?
after that. After that, Epi. I'm not disputing anything that happened up with Valve, but when it was after that, when I made a couple deposits, noticed nothing had changed on these sheets. I sent Epi a DM, and I'm like, "Hey, this Google Sheet's not working," and he said, "Okay." And later on, it was. Hold up, what is this line? Velyni Vas.
Anyhow,
Um,
yeah, so I don't know. It's a banking dispute where he's claiming there's stuff they sent over, which we have really no evidence of unless we dig through logs. And the logs, from our deduction, sort of claim that this is all there was, and we've sent back that. If Rose or CCT wants to really scrutinize the logs, and that will be somewhat difficult because offshores would have changed over time.
How do you plan to
Yeah.
account for disbanded alliances?
I'm really disheartened that Kat is not counted as someone who could be trustworthy with the numbers.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
I mean,
I'm kinda
I
confused
personally
by
see
these numbers.
I see Cataclysm as a neutral
It's
party.
fine.
They're obviously not taking the side of CD, and they're obviously not taking the side of Camelot.
It's fine. It's
Nothing against Deca.
I've
It's
thought
purely
about that
against
the entire.
Cataclysm.
Ever since you mentioned that Yar and Rares, I've thought about that the entire time. I'm like, damn, really? I'm not considered good with numbers.
Nothing personal.
Don't
It's
respond to it.
just
I'm
that
just
we don't have
saying.
normalized relations with your most of the alliances you're affiliated
I
with.
know,
So
but
we
you
can just
having
check.
normalized relations would also imply like potentially a level of biased,
I mean, if
right?
people want to
Is a neutral
accuse Rose
party
of CCC of
normalized?
bias, they are welcome to. We're
No,
not
no,
going to fight
just
that battle.
is a normalized relationship also like is that not biased in a way? Like a normalized
Well,
relationship?
it's normal. It's neutral. It means we
I
don't have
know,
anything
but
against them.
so you have something against Kata. Don't it's a
No, we
joke.
think
It's
that
a
we have
joke.
something
It's a
against
joke.
Polaris.
It's a joke. It's a well, yeah,
Okay.
well, hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? Yeah.
Don't answer. I'm just saying. Math is math. That's all I'm saying. Numbers are numbers.
Yeah. Unless they're read by interesting characters, in which case numbers can be anything, to be honest.
I love doing math. Like that's all I'm saying.
Okay, so
I
coming
still have a question. Sorry to interrupt. Is there a way to account for the deposits and withdrawals between Crimson Dragons and oh boy, I don't even know the name of it, but one of the many Camelot offshores that only lasted about a week before being disbanded.
Blowing them up.
so
I'm sorry, what?
Thorin,
People kept
Thorin,
blowing them
like,
up.
this dancing teardrops guy brings up this point about this.
Dancing. Who's dancing? Teardrop? Sorry.
I have no idea who that is, but he brings up the fact that it's 58,800 that was sent in back to Camelot, right? I'm just trying to figure out why did you use that number to send back? So if you
Because we had 240 whatever. I looked at the
yeah, so
numbers
how
in
did
our
you
off
come to that number? Like you clearly had evidence that that number existed. So I'm
because
just
that's what it showed we had in our account.
yeah, and where's that evidence? Like where's that account?
It is in the Camelot CD embassy that I am no longer allowed in.
Thorin does not have
Voss,
access
you're
to
welcome
his
to join
records,
it.
Tabas.
And it is
Thorin does not have
contained in a
access.
message that was pinned, that was no longer pinned shortly before we were dropped, and has been constantly edited by Epimetheus, which does present major security issues compared to using a sheet where there are at least, Google's built-in audit logs.
Yeah,
Whereas a
so
Discord
like,
edited message, I'm personally not too sure of any way
so
to
why
go back
so
and view the
why
edit
did you
history.
have so why did you have the 240,000 already in the bank but not any other resource? Like when did this change happen?
It happened when we were pulling some of our oh boy. We were pulling some of our resources because shortly after we dealt with the war, we had an excess of war chest. We were planning on selling some of our war chests, so we pulled a bunch of stuff, sold it, did grants, fixed up some infra for members, and then we sent things back to sum up the war chest. It was ultimately used for trading and then returned to our offshore, which we believed was
Sure.
safe at the time.
Thorin,
Voss,
mention
take
how
a
you
look
done
at
the
this
records.
message right here.
Thorin, mention how you done the
Just
records, by the way.
sending it to you. So,
Thorin,
can I pull
super
this,
important.
please? And we reply
Mention how
as
you done the
well.
records.
Here, another one, 1,047. This was another munition deposit that was made. We had a couple members assigned to producing munitions, so our munitions were filled up periodically as opposed to our other resources, which were purchased in bulk. Another thing to account for is
Okay,
there was
so
some internal
so
trading.
when did you make the withdrawal for all the other resources? Like, do you have evidence of that withdrawal? Like the ones that
Hey, hold
lack
hold
Officer, sorry to
munitions?
bother you. Can you DM me the that withdrawal that was had?
hold.
It should be the withdrawal that
So
contains a significant amount of raws, because we
so
withdrew
you
all of our
all
assorted
are
raws and sold them.
aware, as Zig has said, things are going to be wrapped up in the next few minutes.
Dang it,
Whether
Zig.
you guys choose to continue rambling on after the fact is up to you guys. I don't think either Zig or I, because we both have other engagements, will be able to continue to facilitate the stage. But if you guys want to go to the voice chat, or if you want to stick on the stage, we're not going to exactly be able to instantaneously add new people if you want to pull new people on.
Without it being recorded, we're useless. Bye.
So if you guys want to deal with this drama on another day, if you want to do it privately, whatever, that's up to you all. But
I personally do not
recording-wise,
plan on
things
pursuing
have
this drama. I just want things to be over.
recording-wise, things have to end here. So
You guys summoned me on. My position's the same. If people
That is
want
true.
to,
I was
Rose,
playing
listen.
CK3 with a friend, and I got pinged. Hey, you need to get into
Yeah.
this server.
I
My
just
first
I just
Yeah.
want to know, like, why is that 58,800 the thing, and where's the other stuff? Like, that's all I want to know. Why is
And-
there like 240 versus 58 versus the amount that's missing is also 240? So where did it go? Why did it go like that? What's going on? That's all I want to know.
I think the answer to that is a lot of different accounting and internal drama that'll lead us in the same circle for another hour.
That
'Cause
that
you-
is
you-
what I think is happening here,
mean,
but
I think everyone can agree that we're not going to come to a conclusion just by
No,
sitting
you
here
guys
and
have
talking.
been talking for like an hour and a half. There is no conclusion to be reached here.
No,
that's not
going
going to
to be
happen.
conclusion. It's probably going to come through when either Yar or Rose, as I stated, goes through and looks at the logs. But I'm still worried because, again, there have been alliances that have been disbanded that were Camelot Offshores. Camelot Offshores disbanded that we sent and withdrew funds from. So I'm wondering how that is going to be.
No, I mean,
wondering how it's
I
going to be
can tell
accounted
you
for.
this is not going to be solved by like bank logs. I can tell you that much, because there's like so many transactions happening. But what we can do to solve this issue is just try to track down the train of thought in terms of these withdrawals. So when you
Train of thought.
deposited that back, that
I
300K,
think our trains are on completely different tracks.
Yeah,
Like we might
I'm
even be on
gonna
different
ask.
continents right now.
And I understand that we're trying to figure this out, but I am gonna ask that you guys resolve that either on your own, or if you choose you don't want to do it that way, or you want to do it through the Rose intermediary.
let's go to the radio chat. Let's go to the radio chat.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
Yeah, just because at the moment, Zig's, we've got about 4 minutes and we're hopping into end of the theme song, etc. Epi, actually, you can answer this in the chat. That's fine. Oh god, Epi's not here. Somebody type out the question I'm gonna ask Epi. Actually, here, I got this one. Hold on. Let's see. There, I'll throw that over there. Thanks, Thorin. You're probably gonna want to hop off too. And
I don't even know. I think part of me tells me I should go to the radio chat. Part of me tells me I should just get off and go watch a movie.
whatever works for you.
All right.
I don't know if Epi's even gonna answer the pin question that I attached. So
Where's the pin question?
not the pin, but it's four lines up at the moment in the Thalmor radio channel.
Thalmor radio.
Yeah. Here,
I'm
hold on.
stealing Coven props before we
Yeah.
end the show.
There, you've been pinged for it. There you
That
go.
is-
There are 3
all right.
messages pointing it out. All right, with 17 people, Zig, go ahead and play the theme before we lose everybody else.
All right, off to Thalmor radio I go. Have fun, guys.
I'm not Thalmor, but good night, everybody.
Thalmor Radio. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Thalmor Radio. Yeah, he's coming at you from the top. Oh no, no, he won't stop. Thalmor Radio. Ooh, ooh.
Night.